Hey guys, welcome back to Lindasresinroom. I made this mold, and you can see how stiff it is. This is a 30 shore hardness. It is a little more than an inch, about 1.25 inches thick, because of how deep the sand is. Now, I seen Reptiles and Resins, Miss Sheila, use this mold that she had made, and yeah, I thought it was gorgeous. Loved it. And I happened to be out shopping one day and seen the piece that she had molded, and I had to mold it myself. So there's a little place down in there that looks like snow. So I have 15 milliliter, half an ounce of resin. I haven't mixed it up yet, but I'm going to put sparkling white and mica powder. This is Chain Type D. This is just like the crushed crystal, except this is about $12 for this whole big container. If you're curious, I have a lot of other colors, and I love this, and I've just scattered it everywhere, as you can see. But I want this for my snow down in there, because I love when you mix this in with resin. Very heavy. I love the sparkle and the way it looks, and to me it looks like snow. So I'm going to mix this up. Now I don't have to mix long on this resin because there's such a small amount. You're going to get this mixed up before 3 minutes is up. And I'm going to let it sit for just a minute before I pour it in there, because I'm not going to put it in the vacuum chamber. It's just such a small amount, and it's going to be such a thin layer down in there that I don't want to take my heat gun down in there either, because then I'm going to blow it on everything other than where I want it. So I'm going to get this mixed up, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and we're going to be back to put this layer down in there. This is going to take us a while to make this mold, because then we're going to have to fill it up to the letters, the bottom, and let it cure up enough. And then we'll do our letters, and there's some little areas down in there. I'll use a very thin resin, probably my eye crystal. It's a 2-to-1 resin when I do the letters, because of all those little intricate details that I'm going to paint up afterwards. And then, after we get our letters filled, I'll back it with the rest of the color that I do for the base, because I think it'll be beautiful. It looks like there's something down in there. I don't know how it's going to turn out, because I did get some pieces from the piece itself into a mold that will not come out. So we'll see. This is a matte mold, because the piece was matte. And you're doing molds, whatever, it doesn't matter what silicone you use. I don't care the brand. I don't care the shore hardness. It doesn't matter. If you mold a shiny piece, your piece is shiny, your mold will be shiny. If you mold a matte piece, your mold will be matte, and this will be matte because the piece was matte. And I couldn't believe that I came across the same thing that Miss Sheila had molded, because I love the way that hers turned out, and I loved that mold, and it's a huge mold. This thing is probably about 13 inches long and about 6 inches wide and about 1.5 inches in depth. So massive mold, massive. All right, I think I've got that mixed up good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes and degas on its own, and we'll be back in just a moment for it. Alrighty guys, so this has been sitting for about 5 minutes. Just with a little alcohol down in there. And now I'm going to try, I've got some syringes around, but which would probably work a whole lot better as shaky as I am. So let's see. I just have to, I don't want one of those. Instead of a syringe, let's just get a pipette. Though it took me a minute to remember what it was called. We can do a pipette. So I'm going to trim that nozzle off there, just to make it a little bigger. That way maybe I can, there we go. And get that to drip down in there a little better. Okay, and I just want to go along through here and hopefully it's going to peel out like snow. Okay, I had these forever and a day and had never used them. And when I started watching videos on YouTube, I love my resin videos. If you have a channel and I don't follow you, post your channel in the comment and I will follow you back. Because I do like watching everybody's videos and I like to see people's creations. It gives me ideas, keeps my mind flowing, creative juices going. But anyways, I had been watching some YouTube videos and saw people using the pipette. Thought, oh, makes a lot of sense. Don't know why I haven't been doing that. So, started doing that and man, it's getting my game changer. It absolutely works wonders when you're shaky like I am. I don't want to overflow that. Not a bubble on you, pop. Come on, pop. You might have to take a dotting tool here and try to pop that. You didn't want to pop. I want to take him to the side. Okay. I think I've got all the snow that I can get in there without overflowing it. And I didn't use hardly any. So I mixed up 15 and I used 5. Not even 5, I don't think. 5 milliliter. Hardly anything. I wonder if I can get that to go over just a little bit to the back. Sorry about the heater, guys. But it is getting to winter time and I've got to have some heat in here. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, let's find something to put this in. I know when I don't have much, I usually do little skulls and things. And I do have a little skull that needs finished filling, and then we'll start on the next. And save these all year long and just throw them in a bucket for when I do a craft show. I like the little birds, but the little birds are being made for something in another video. So, I can't make them. But now, I am going to make this a little different. I have found that you can put color. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to bump that. In with this. It's a big bubble. Okay, just a little tiny drop. This is a Tea Expert Poppy Pigment Paste, bright red. And it is translucent. But that doesn't matter. But you can take that sparkling white and change it to any color you want. So now we have a red sparkle just by adding a little drop of dye or alcohol ink, whatever you want to put in there. Mica powder will change it completely. So I wouldn't use mica powder if I wanted the sparkle. So this just changes my color. So then I have my white and then I have a red. See if we can get all of this out that we can. Okay. Let me scrape all this off. It's kind of hard to get these out with just a popsicle stick. Okay, now should be able to get out quite a bit more. Scrape all this together. He is almost full. Doesn't need much. But I'm not going to have it with this. He'll be pushed aside and build up, yeah, other color as we mix. And there we go. So, throwing him back here. I'm going to put this one out of the way. We're going to let this cure up. I'm going to throw that in the bin. Clean this off with some alcohol. Okay. There we go. Alright guys, we'll let this cure up a little bit, enough to hold our next color, and we'll be back to do our next pour. So, see you guys then. Alright guys, I'm going to try to talk loud because that microphone's a piece of crap. I've got to find my other one. We are ready to do our next layer, which will be to pour in here. I've got silicone on there. Silicone will stick to silicone, but sometimes if it's a different shore hardness, you can pull it off. I was making some molds, and yeah, it went everywhere. Even though I checked it and it was sealed, when I went to pour, it wasn't sealed. So I'm going to put, I got 2 ounces of resin here. Put 2 little tiny scoops. This is called Flesh, and it is like, it's a fleshy color. I want this to look kind of like gingerbread, and I think this is close, but it needs a little more of a brown hue to it. So I'm going to use this Little Piggy Caramel Drizzle. You know, I haven't ordered from this Little Piggy in a while. I need to get on there and get some more colors. I know, I got a lot of colors, but I love color. And I only have a few of this Little Piggy. And they have so many pretty colors. Okay, let's see if we can get this to look more like a brown. Okay, still not quite the brown I'm looking for though. Let's see. Let's find brown. I've got to have a brown somewhere. Okay. No. Dark brown. Chain Tyke G. I like their pigments, and they're very affordable. Get these open. I think they're the ones that sends these little things to open. I can't remember. When I take them out of the box and put them on my shelf, I take all those little things out, but I'm pretty sure it's them. Okay, I'm going to do a little tiny scoop. So this is dark brown. Well, I can't get the full. Now this mold is made with a 30 shore hardness. I don't remember if I told you guys that, and that's why you'll see it is stiff. Now I didn't have any issue demolding the original, so I'm hoping I don't have any issue demolding this. Usually flat molds like this are okay in a higher shore hardness, but not always. Okay, let's see, and I haven't mixed this resin. Okay, that looks more like what I'm going for. Alright guys, I'm going to finish mixing the resin, get it in the debubbler, and we'll be back to pour in just a moment. Okay guys, I got my resin out of the debubbler, so we're going to pour this until it gets up to those letters. don't want it to go into the letters. 2 ounces I think is going to be plenty, and probably still have some left. I've just got to be very careful. Okay, we are almost there. Let's let that sit for just a second and level out. Now you see I've already got resin sitting over here. This is the eye crystal from Resin Pro. It is a 2-to-1 resin, and it's what I'm going to use on my next layer because all those little tiny details. This is a very thin resin. It still cures just like a regular epoxy resin because it is an epoxy, but it's just really clear, and it's a 2-to-1. Love this resin. And there's a discount code on there. It says Resin Pro 10. So I guess that includes all their pigments and their resins. They have a few different resins, but they make some really good ones. And I really like the eye crystal. Okay. Give that a minute to settle down. I think I'm going to turn it around because I feel like my table is a little bit lower in that corner. See it move to that way? And I'm pretty level with the A up here. But I've got plenty of room down there with the letters. So, let that level out just a bit. I think that's all I'm going to put because I do not want to get into my letters, and I'm very close. So I only used 1/2 ounce. Well, let's see, no, I made 2, 1.5 ounces. 1.5 ounces. So let's finish filling this little skull up. He's getting brown. He needs just a little more. One more drop. Okay, I think that's good for that one. Find me another. I got my resin sitting out, guys, because of I will forget and use regular epoxy resin instead of my 2-to-1, and I don't want to do that. I'll end up with bubbles for sure. So if I set it out now, I'll remember to use that when it's time to do the next pour. Okay. I've got a lot of these little skulls. They're a great extras mold, especially this time of year. Halloween, they really, everybody loves these little tiny ones. So there's so many things you could use it for. You could make a Halloween box and use it for the knob, the little handle. That would be cute. Okay. See if I can get all of this out without getting it all over me. Almost. I promise, guys, I will fix my microphone
I will get my other one. So like I said, I bought this new one and it's not worth 2 cents. I thought maybe I could try another one that would cancel out some of the noise, so you didn't have all that background noise. And it does when it works. Problem is, it doesn't always work. Okay, good with that. Let me clean this off, and that is my heater that kicked on. Alright. I just spritz it with some alcohol and then wipe it off, and it's good to go till the next time. Alright guys, we're going to let this cure up and then we'll come back and do our next colors. I think I'm going to try to do some different colors in each letter, because you can do every single letter a different color. So we're going to have some fun. But let's let this cure up and I'll see you back for the next pour. Alright guys, so I'm going to mix up my 2-to-1 iCrystal resin. I'm going to use 11 gram of part B, and this is a very thin resin. So I'm just going to do 11. I think this will be plenty to do every letter, because it's going to be about 1 ounce once we get it all mixed together. Okay, 11.5. No biggie. 11.5, and that was, well, now I got the lid crooked, but you can see how this is like water. And then I'm going to do 25 of part A. Love this resin. Like I said, it's like water. It's very thin. Cures nicely. 25. Come on. Almost there. Gonna stick here. A little bit more. Okay. 25.5. Close this up because y'all know me. I don't want to. See how that is like water. I mean, it is just thin. So it doesn't take long to mix, even though it's like any other resin. It'll tell you to mix for 3 minutes. But we're going to do some pastel colors. I think I'm just going to rotate the colors. Thought about the green and the reds for Merry Christmas, but I don't really want to do that. I want to stay pastel because to me they look like candy, like cookies. It looks like cookies to me. So you could do white, but I want my snow to be white. So I am going to do the pastels. I have the Octopus inks. I think this is the, alcohol ink. So I have Carabic, which is a blue. I have Pistachio for my green, Lavender for purple, and Flamingo for my pink. I do have Cotton Candy, let's see, Blue Moon, Arctic, and Peppermint as well. But they're a little bit lighter than these, and I wanted the darker, brighter ones. Now, you do have to shake those up, but I'm going to warn you right now. You noticed on the purple and the pink, it's because if I shook those up and they end up in the lid. So I'm going to take the lids off, cover my finger at the top, and then shake it on those colors. Because I don't want them going everywhere. Okay. Now, I've got 4 cups, so I'm just going to try to evenly divide this. And I could do it by weight because I know I have 36. So let's just do 8 grams per each. And then I'm going to need 1 less cup. So, zero that out. Let's do 8. I think it'll be plenty to do every single one of these letters, because you can't put very much at all. Almost. Okay. 8.1. Okay. Almost. Okay. There's 8 for that one. Almost there. 7.4, 5, 7, 9. Okay, 8.1. That should leave us 8 in this cup as well. Probably a little bit more because I did go over by about 1. Oh, that says 12.7. Okay. Maybe I do. Let's put, maybe it's supposed to be 9, not 8. So let's do 9 per cup. I think I miscalculated. Because 4, 36 is 9. And this resin has a very long work time. I think it's got about an hour work time. So you don't have to rush. Okay. There's 9 for that one. Nine for that one. Now I should be even. Almost. Yeah, 10. That's what I figured. Okay, so turn this off and let's start adding a little bit of color. Open these away from everything because they do get little crusty bits. And you can hear that bead down in there. Like I said, you do want to shake these. Sorry guys if I'm shaking the table and everything else. Okay. I'm going to do 6. It is an alcohol ink after all. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Okay. I hate these little cups. I'm trying to use them as fast as I can just to get rid of them. They soak up everything. Now see how that's separated? So definitely shake. And I get all of my octopus fluids if you're in the US from Laura's Art Corner, which I will tag in the description. I will also have the Germany website as well. That way, wherever you're at, if they ship to you, you'll have access. Love these colors. The only ones I don't have from her, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 5 since green's a little lighter. The only octopus fluids I don't have that Laura has in her shop are the metallics and some of the whites. I do have the enoki and I have the milk, but I don't have the other ones. I'd like to get them. I just haven't been able to lately. So eventually I'll have them all. Patience. Doing resin definitely teaches you patience. There's something in there and I think I've got it on my stick. See that? Whatever that is. Okay. There we go. There's our green. Next is our purple. Lavender. And you can see he is separated as well. Now I know he's got a bead in there. It's just breaking it loose. There it goes. everything settles when it sits, and I'll just keep them on a shelf. I have nail shelves on the walls that work great to hold all these. And then you just look up and you see your color. You're not digging through anything. Works wonders for the little small mica powder jars, for any kind of pigment pastes that are in small containers, your alcohol inks, your acrylic inks. It's awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we'll just have our pink, and then we will get to pour. And then after we do these and they cure up, all we got to do is finish pouring the container and it will be done. It's very light. I think I'm going to add a couple more colors. A couple more drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Purple always seems like such a light color. You don't get much of it. There we go. It's more of a, it's a lavender. Now I'm sure you could always add white or whatever colors you want and make your own as well. You don't have to have these because that's all it is. It's alcohol ink that has a little white added to make it opaque and pastel. Last one, flamingo. You'll see these little crusty bits flying off. Okay, shake this one as well. Like I said, woo, I'm flying crusty bits by shaking it. Better not shake it over my mold. They do mix up very well. Beautiful colors. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the lid on that. Putting my finger over the end of it is the only way that I can get it to. I'm not crazy about that pink. I wonder. Yeah. Thought about mixing some cotton candy in with it, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. Now let's see. Get this cleaned off. And let's start getting some of this down in there. It's going to be a little bit slow because I do got to get it to go right down in that S. Okay. Now I'm going to get a dotting tool. Where's it at? Where's it at? I want a smaller one. Okay. And I'm going to spread this out down in there. I'm going to need a little more, but no problem. There's little holes down in there. And I do want to try to get those little holes filled. See if I can grip another little drop here. You can see how close that S is to that that brown. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, looks like our next S is going to be the same way. I'm watching it to, oops, went right down the side. Make sure I get it to float into the holes and I won't have to poke it. Oops, I'm going to poke that one because I can't tell if it flowed into it or if I just dropped it over. Okay. Now, Like I said, I got to be very careful. I don't let this overflow and every bit of it run right down into my brown down at the bottom. It needs a couple more drops. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3. The C's going to be pink as well. Now the C has a squiggle. So I'm hoping it's down in that squiggle. I can run down through there. There we go. I think that'll be okay. Now, blue. This A has a squiggle as well. Gosh, I hope this is enough to do this. Okay. Get it to blow down in those holes. All right. Oh, and my A did just what I said I didn't want it to do. All right. Now, I just have to leave it alone. We'll see. I'll worry about it in a minute. Hope it stays in the A, some of it. I think I overfilled him. Okay, let's let that do its thing. And let that one spread out as well. And my M's going to do the same. So let's see if we can kind of just work it up into these other areas. And hopefully not too much more goes. Same way with the A. Kind of see if I can get it to work up through here. Oh well. It's going to be colorful. Okay, purple. I knew that was likely to happen. Especially with these bottom ones. Because as I said, they are really close. But I think we'll keep enough color that we can, it'll still look good. And that's going to be the base. So if it's colorful, it's colorful. You won't see it because it'll be sitting. Because we've already got the front done. So, no biggie. Uh-oh. Did I drop a purple into the green? I did. Okay, I think we're good there. All right. So, let's start with purple. And see if we can get these filled up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, this one's going to start and end with purple. And the bottom one started and ended with pink. All right, hopefully we've got enough. Let's see. I did purple and then I did pink. I think I'm going to have enough to do the whole thing. Got our pink, and we might even have just a little left over. I'm going to do a blue. Just letting it roll. And then what, yellow? Oh, got some yellow overflowing here. I think we could just dump the rest into the bottom, whatever's left, since we've already got colors in the bottom. Might as well let it just kind of be colorful. Come on, just a little more yellow. Nothing says we can't have a colorful layer. One more drop. Alright, I think we're getting full. So let's just scrape everything else out that we have. Right down in the bottom here. There's some pink for there. I'm not sure it'll give it a full layer, but, you know, give it a little different colors. Okay. Now, let's see, purple. This is probably the only purple I have left, and which is good because it'll be in the center. I don't know, I think we could do a little purple here. I think I've got enough to give it a little something something. There we go. One more little drop there. Drop off. It's going to. It's just being slow. Help it along. There we go. Okay. And we got our blue. So we got enough to cover the whole thing. Well, that's good. At least it'll have a colorful layer. Okay. Now, what do we got? Yellow. So, put our yellow here. Don't have much left of yellow, but we got enough to scrape out a little there. Kind of turned green where I mixed it with the blue. All right. I really don't want to spritz it because I know more of my color is going to run. So I may just poke those bubbles out because I'm not putting heat down in that mold. This is a handmade mold and it will definitely melt it. So we don't want to do that. All right, guys, I'll just take my dotting tool and pop the bubbles that come up like that, and we'll be good. So we'll let this cure up. We'll come back for a final pour. See you guys in a bit. All right, guys, this is still a little, it's just a little tacky. So we're going to mix up to try to make this look like a little lighter brown. I want like a, not really a beige, but a little more brown. So I'm going to use this coffee this time. I used the dark brown and a couple of other colors to do the base, but I don't really want it that dark. So let's get this coffee brown open. We'll see what it's like. The caramel wasn't really what I was looking for. Beautiful color, just not what I was looking for. Okay. But I don't want a beige. I want it silky looking. And so that's really dark. It's a beautiful color, but it's really dark. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my ocean white paste and I'm going to put a little down in here. I'm going to shake it down. A little white down in there. And see if I can tone it down to the color I want it. I want it shimmery though. And that's why I'm not using a beige paste or anything that I have. Okay. See if this is going to do anything. I don't want it to look a red color. Some browns end up having this red-like tint to them. Okay. Still darker than what I want. So I'm going to add some more. Sorry about shaking the camera, guys. Just drizzle in some more white. See what this does. How much it'll tone it down. But like I said, I still want that shimmery of the, kind of looks like chocolate milk. Okay. Now, let me scoot this back just a little bit here. I've already mixed this resin. I've got 8 ounces of resin mixed up. Looks like chocolate milk to me. So, did I buy a paste that was called beige or something maybe? I did. Let me see. I haven't put it in a container yet. The Marblers beige. So, gosh, I hate bags. I really need to buy me some containers when I can. Big containers for this. We'll have it flying everywhere. Alright. Let's see what this will do. And we'll use 2 big scoops. That's a big scoop. Marblers beige. Alright. Now let's see. Because this should keep my shimmer. See if this will tone it down any. I don't really see a change, do y'all? At all. I don't think that did anything. We may just have to have a chocolate milk cookie. Because that's what it looks like to me. It's a cookie. Okay. Still not what I wanted. That's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to get this in the debubbler, or the vacuum chamber, and we'll be back to pour in just a moment. Alrighty guys, so I got my resin out of the debubbler, and let's fill this up and see how much it's going to hold. I think that's a pretty color. Try to help steady myself so that I don't spill it. Now, the only letter I'm really worried about is the A down at the end. Because it looks like quite a bit of the color ran out of the A. And you can see this one right here. Quite a bit ran out. I think it's still going to be okay. But he's missing some. He's not quite as full as the others. So, and it's just the way the mold is made. Nothing I can really do about it to fix it. So, it's just a piece I molded. Okay, let's go down here and see if we can get some of the color to go down in these letters. There we go. I think this is going to be so pretty. Like I said, I seen Sheila from Reptiles and Resin do this. I guess she had made the mold. And I thought it was gorgeous. And then I came across the piece she had molded myself in the store and had to buy it. I even told my husband about it when I seen it. I don't want to fill it too full, but I know this is going to level out, so just going to pour some back here in the back. That Y hasn't got completely full yet. There we go. Now we got him. Almost. Trying to watch every piece of it. Make sure I don't get it overfilled. And the heat kicks on. All right. Let's see where we're at there. I gotta get this before I stick my arm in it. I think we still need more. This side's a little high. Cut that heat off. So I'm probably going to prop it up. I think my table kind of leans just a little to this corner. And I've tried and tried and tried to get it completely level, but I can't do it. Just doesn't happen. Let's see where this is going to roll. Okay, and so far I've used 6 ounces. See, I just feel like right here needs a little more, but it's just kind of rolling out. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Now, I've got 2 ounces. Brown is not the prettiest color. We're going to use this into resin mold. I think you're supposed to put a candle in it, maybe. I don't know of battery operated taper candles, but I'm sure they make them. I'll have to look. It probably holds about 2 ounces, so we can always dump the rest of that down in there. See if we can scrape out enough to finish filling it up. I bet we can. I bet 2 ounces is what the little sucker holds. Yep, 2 ounces. So 6 ounces for our Merry Christmas, 2 ounces for that. And maybe finish filling this little skull with this brown. Okay, let me see if I can move this so I can get to that. Okay. That one looks like it's kind of sunk down in there a little bit and needs a little kind of level out. Where's my little Sharpie tool? See if I can scrape this to the sides and get that to level out, and then I won't have to trim the bottom up. There we go. Whoa. Alright guys, we'll let all this cure up and we will come back for a demold. So I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so this is cured up. So let's pop everything out and see what it looks like. Let's get the little skulls first. I'm just going to pop them out and then I'm going to show them to you. Maybe. Trying to break that seal sometimes on some of these. It's a little rough. Well, let's show you the first one then. This one is the one I put the 2 colors of brown. So his bottom jaw is a different color than the top. And this one's just all dark brown from the first color. Okay, this is the red and white glittery with the brown on the bottom. He's got a lot of overage that needs picked off. If I can get the overage, he's smooth on the bottom and won't need trimmed. He's kind of freaky looking. Okay, now let's see. There, I got it. Some of these getting started are a little stiffer than others, I think. Ooh, that one might be getting old. It's a little bit stuck. He's smooth on the bottom though. Use the different color blues that was already in there. And then I just put the white to fill him up. Oh, he's got some clear, and then you see the white kind of go up in there. That's kind of cool. Okay. Now, whatever, I don't want to touch the inside of this. Where did I put my gloves? I had moved them when I was getting some resin off that shelf yesterday. Forgot to put them back. Alright. There we go. Make sure if you touch the inside of your mold, I got a bubble I'm going to have to fix. That is a really pretty color. Those two mixed together. I always have to trim the bottom. I'm telling you, I think you're supposed to put a taper candle in that. I'm going to find some battery operated ones without a base. Now this is going to be a bit rough, I'm sure, to demold just because I used such stiff silicone. And this mold weighs 1,420 grams. That's how much silicone I used on this thing. It is huge. Okay. Now, if I can get a hold of it, it's getting all those little center pieces out there. That's in those letters. But they do pop out. You just got to be careful and take your time. And there we go. I did bend it. So I got to bend him back. All right. Now, isn't that pretty? I love that. You know, each one of these has different, still have that bent. Let's see. There we go. Okay, I think I've got it. And it does sit up. I'm going to have to trim this. You can see our color layer through there. Kind of looks like it's dripped down in there, doesn't it? And then I'll take my markers, not these ones, and I'm going to paint these up. And I'll do that on a time lapse because I got a little bubble here I need to fix. And a couple here in the A, of course I knew I would. One here. So I'll fix those up on a time lapse and paint them up, and I'll see you guys back after and trim them up, of course, and show you our final piece. I'll see you guys then.
In Linda's room, the resin flows, swirls of cheer where the magic grows. Gingerbread signs with a glossy shine, Santa's chimney sparkle in a line. Acrylic pens in steady hands, final touches, dreams unplanned. Swirls of Christmas, colors that gleam, candy canes dance in a winter dream. Resin whispers, it's almost time. Santa's coming down the resin line. Snowflake molds and glittered hue, every piece feels fresh and new. Reindeer prance on a resin plane, the holiday spirit in every grain. Pouring joy.
Alrighty guys, so I got everything filled in and painted up. I went over a couple of these spots that I had missed along some of these and filled them in. So there was a couple spots that I had seen that I didn't quite get when I was doing the UV resin, and then I just took my metallic paint pens and just went over these to highlight those little pieces on top of there to make it look like cookies, because that's what it looks like to me. Looks like cookies that are decorated. Anyways guys, that's it. That's my Merry Christmas sign. I really like that. Alright guys, I will take some photos, post them at the end, and I'll see you guys back for the next video. So bye for now.